Hi, Rick. Thanks for joining me.
Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
All right, I have my trusted attorney friend here today, and I wanted to ask you, Rick. In 2026, what are the top 3 things that you can think of that people should be doing in regards to wills, trusts, and estates?
Great question. Probably the most important thing to know is if you don't have a will or a trust, your estate is going to go through, if something happens to you, your estate will go through something called an intestate succession probate. And what that all means is that the state of North Carolina is going to decide who gets your assets, and if you have small children, who cares for your children. With a will, you can direct who gets your assets. You can direct who cares for your children. But with a will, it's going to have to go through what's called the probate process. Probate is defined as the judicial process by which a judge assigns the assets of a deceased person to a living person. That's all it is. It's taking what you own when you died and giving it to someone who's still alive.
Yep.
Problem with probate is it's long. Right now, it's taking 18 to 24 months to complete in North Carolina, which means any assets going through probate are frozen for 18 to 24 months. It's also expensive. If you Google average cost of probate in North Carolina, it comes up 5 to 8% of the value of the estate. So if your estate's worth $500,000, including real estate, your family's going to pay $30,000, give or take, in probate fees, and it just goes up from there.
Wow.
And it's also public. Anybody in the world can come in and not just see what you owned when you passed away, but they can challenge the terms of your will. They can try to convince the judge to redirect the distributions away from where you said you wanted it to go to themselves or to whomever they're advocating for. With a revocable living trust, you can avoid all of that. With a trust, you can do everything you can with a will, plus a lot more. It's going to give you a lot more control over the distribution of your assets. There's going to be a tax savings for your family, and all of that happens without ever going through probate. So there's big advantage to a trust over a will, but if you don't have any documents, get a will. You don't want the state deciding who gets your assets.
So bare minimum would be a will.
Right.
The second one would be a revocable living trust.
Correct. Now, there's hundreds of different types of trusts out there. For most people doing estate planning, a revocable living trust is the better way to go. I just had a meeting with somebody, and their estate was a little more complex, and we're gonna do a couple of irrevocable trusts, an LLC, and a revocable trust, but all the documents will work together. For most people, and myself included, I have a revocable living trust.
Okay.
It does a couple things that you really can't do with a will. With a will, you can say, I want all of my assets to go to my spouse. And then if my spouse predeceases me or if we perish together, I want my assets to go to my children. That will happen after it goes through court. But you can't really put any parameters or conditions on when assets are distributed. I'll give you an example. I've got 3 kids, 3 boys. Their ages 28, 24, and 22. So they're all over 18, but they're still 28, 24, and 22. And my wife and I did not want them getting a lump sum too early in life.
Yep.
Because they'd go right through it.
Yep.
So in our trust, we were able to dictate when the distributions would be made, as opposed to a will where as soon as the kid turns 18, they get their full inheritance.
Yep.
In our trust, if something happens to me and my wife today, our estate's divided into equal shares, equal thirds. And as each one of my sons reach age 25, they get 25% of their share of our trust assets. At age 30, they get another 25%. And at age 35, they get the final 50%. We just picked those ages because we knew where we were in life and just thought they were the right ones to go with. But you can tie distributions to life events. It doesn't have to be to age. It can be if you wanted to pay for college or graduate school, or if you want to pay for a down payment on a house or pay for a wedding. Whatever you want to do with a trust, you can do. You really can't do that with a will.
Okay.
Again, the control aspect of it, you're safeguarding the assets. Like I was saying, with respect to when my sons would get their distributions, those assets are protected from creditors, from plaintiffs in a lawsuit, and I hate to say it, but potential ex-spouses. The assets are protected. So
Wow.
lots of advantages in the control part of it.
Okay.
One other thing that I know is relevant, especially for your line of work, is with a revocable living trust, you can save your family significantly on capital gains tax. If you have a home, let's say, for example, a home is considered a capital asset, meaning you'll pay capital gains tax if you sell it. If you have a home and you have 3 kids, and I decided I want to just add my kids' names to the deed with the intention of them getting it when I die, that'll work. They'll get it. But they're going to take it at my adjusted basis, which is whatever I paid for my home when I bought it. If you take that exact same home and put it into a revocable trust, leave it to the exact same people, they will get it without going to court, and they get it at what's called a stepped up basis, which is market value as of the date of your death. So back to just adding them to the deed, if I bought my house 10 years ago for $200,000 and now it's worth $600,000, my kids are going to pay capital gains tax on that $400,000 gain. If I put it in a trust and I pass away and the house is worth $600,000, they're not going to pay any capital gains tax. It's just
Huge difference.
It's a huge significance, especially where we live in Greater Charlotte area. The real estate values are significantly higher than they were.
And so many people don't know this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but I saw a statistic one time that said like 70% of the United States population have a will or a trust. I'm sorry, 30%, 70% do not.
Right.
So
I think it's 76% of Americans do not live off a budget as well. I saw that one. That's
scary
that's
notion.
pretty scary.
Scary notion.
Also. So for the third thing they should do in 2026, I know for me, I like to stay in my lane. So whenever any of this comes up, I'm like, I got a guy. Call Rick Lutzel. Is that number 3? Is just call Rick and let him take care of it, get a consultation?
I appreciate that. I like to think people would call me, but honestly, call somebody.
Yeah.
But please do not try to do it yourself online.
No.
And do not go to, I've seen seminars come up advertised on social media, and actually I saw one advertised on TV last night of these companies that are basically traveling salesmen selling estate plans. I saw a commercial last night that honestly, I wanted to throw something at the TV. It was an older looking gentleman, looked very educated, looked like he knew what he was talking about. And he made the comment that you want to protect your assets, and the best way to do that is by adding your kids' names to the deed to your house. I literally cringed. And he was peddling this, and I'm sure they charged thousands of dollars, and he couldn't have been more wrong. If you take nothing else from this conversation today, please understand, do not ever, ever add your kids' names to the deed. When you add someone's name to the deed, what you're doing is, 1, you're going to kill them with capital gains tax.
Yeah.
2, that is considered a taxable event, just the gift of adding them to the deed, because you're now gifting them half of the value of your house.
Yep.
So gift tax right now is 28 to 38% of the value of the gift paid by the giver. So if you give somebody a $500,000 house, their gift is $250,000, they're paying $65,000, $70,000 in gift tax.
Wow.
And then the other problem with adding a name to a deed, you add your kid's name to the deed, and then your child gets sued, or your child has creditors, or an ex-spouse, your house is now at risk.
Ooh.
Those creditors can come after your property. Worst thing you can do is add someone's name to a deed.
So many reasons to not do that.
Back to the original point, there are people out there peddling these things.
Right.
And so just what I really recommend is go to an attorney, go to a qualified attorney, and just stay away from Google and stay away from traveling salesmen.
And maybe ChatGPT. For big life event things.
Yes.
Let's go to the professional that specializes in it.
Well, I've been doing it for 35 years.
Yep.
As I know you know, I wrote a book on estate planning.
Yep.
I should have brought a copy, and I apologize I didn't. But this is what I do. I mean, you and I work together doing real estate closings, but my focus is primarily estate planning and asset protection planning.
Yep.
I love what I do. I really do. I'm such a nerd.
It shows. It shows, and it helps people. It really does.
That's where really
Helps
why I
people
like
while
it.
they're alive, and it helps their loved ones after they've passed.
Yeah, and
important
for people
stuff.
that come in that I'm able to work for, it gives them peace of mind knowing the stuff
Yep.
is all done.
Yep. I love it. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.